Hey there, folks. This is Piano Man Steve Lungrin, founder of the Piano Man Approach online piano course and learningmusicisfun.com. And I appreciate you stopping by. This is just one of my sort of weekly free lesson tidbits that I like to put out. I always try to put something out that I think will be of potential use and application in your playing immediately so that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve and have more fun with less work. That's kind of what I'm always trying to do on piano anyway. If you enjoy content like this before we get started, I'd sure appreciate it if you give it a like and subscribe to the channel and share it with people that might like it and leave comments and all that good stuff. All of those things that help me work through the YouTube algorithm anyway. So thank you for being here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a rhythm pattern, actually. And what I wanted to do more than anything is show that there's a surprising connection between a lot of country and folk music and jazz standards. And because a lot of times, most of the questions that I get asked are one of two things. Either how do I, like, what kind of a rhythm pattern would I use to bring this song to life? Is one kind of question that I get asked a lot. And then the other would be, improv stuff. Like, once we have the feel in place, how do I dress it up? Well, today we're going to be attacking a rhythm pattern question. And I think that with jazz standards, what can throw a lot of people off the scent a little bit is that a lot of times the original recordings that you're hearing had kind of a walking bass line. And certainly you can do walking bass lines on piano, but a lot of folks that are not really they haven't developed that level of skill yet, or they don't have enough momentum in their piano playing yet. They're not ready to do a walking bass line and hold it all together. But there is something that I think is pretty approachable, even to someone early in their journey or struggling a little bit. And if you happen to like those old jazz standards that guys like Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and Tony Bennett and Nat King Cole and Ella Fitzgerald and all those wonderful people sing. So let me show you. First of all, let's take a look at, this is a rhythm pattern I teach that I call the country feel. It doesn't apply only to country music by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty common in country music. Not every country song uses the country feel, but a lot of them do. And as I'm pointing out today, songs that are not country songs often are able to use this feel as well. And it looks like this. Just in the old friendly key of C. So what are we doing here? So it's very simple. Here's my C chord in the right hand, and I've got octave C's in the left hand, right? And I am playing 1, 2, and on count 3, I'm going to the 5 of the chord. What does that mean? Well, if you were to play the C scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So 1, 5. So I'm alternating whatever chord I happen to be playing. I'm alternating between the 1 and the 5. And the 1 and the 5. And in between, on counts 2 and 4, I'm coming down on the chord in my right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I've had people, I used to call it, it's the country feel or the chuck. And then, then I had some people say, it sounds like you're calling it the upchuck feel. And that's not what we're going for. So I don't call it that anymore. But anyway. And so obviously that feel is really prolific for a lot of country songs, old country songs. Like, I'm going to move to a different key here because I don't want to sing high. I want to sing softly. So if I were playing it in G, hey, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Right. Will the circle be I mean, even I hear the train coming, rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Okay, so there's a lot of really great classic country songs from the very dawn of that art form all the way to the present day that use that rhythm pattern. And it's also something that you'd see in a lot of old folk songs. So, for example, this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands. Okay? So now that we have that established, it also works as a simple entry point for a lot of jazz standards. Let me give you an example. Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. See, and in a situation like that where the chords move faster, so you don't have time, like if you're going to go through a full rotation, 1, 2, 3, 4, then they have to go a full measure. But if the chords are changing fast enough, then you just move to the next chord in real time. And it's just, you're just moving through them, and you don't have to go to the alternating between the 1 and the 5 and the 1 and the 5. You just move to the next root and the next root and get the little boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. And it works really, really nice. And even if you are starting to gain some traction with your playing, so that maybe one of the things that a more entry-level player might only be able to do is play like major and minor chords, and they're not ready for a lot of those more complex chords that often follow us around in jazz standards. That's okay. As you develop the skill to be able to play those jazz standard chords, those more sophisticated chords like 7s and 9s and all of those things, this rhythm pattern still works really nice. Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. So it's a great place to get started. And then maybe at some point in time, if you want to move into something more sophisticated and work some walking bass line patterns into your left hand, you can do that when you're ready. But this is a great entry place. So it works for that. Another example might be L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore and love. Right? It's a little Nat King Cole. All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I wanna lose them. Take my heart, I'll never use it. I mean, it just like the list goes on and on and on, all the way back to Duke Ellington. Let me see. You must take the A train. Oh, excuse me. You must take the A train. You ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just a great place to start. So I think that is a connection that would get missed by a lot of folks as they're trying to establish, because I believe that the number one problem most piano players have when they try to remove themselves from the burden of playing only what's written on a page, which I'm not trashing that. It's just not my way. But if you're trying to extract yourself from having to stick to notation on a staff and you start using chord symbols, the number one problem that most people have is they're not sure what to do with those chord symbols. How do I make it sound like music? And I teach 4 basic feels, or 4 essential feels, if you will, and one of them is this one. And I just don't think that the connection in a lot of people's mind would say, oh, use something called the country feel to play jazz standards. But you'd be surprised how often it is the best entryway to that kind of music. So now, this video is not about improv, but there's a lot of simple stuff that you can do with your right hand based on the chord that you're already playing, and you can dress it up a little bit so it's not always so simple. So it's not a very big leap to go from these very simple things that I've been doing to also, L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. Love, da 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 da. Love was made for me and you. You can start dressing it up really fast, really easy. You just have to know some different tools and stuff, and I'm not going to take time to go into all of that in this video, but it all starts with just getting it under your hands and having a point of entry. And the point of entry for a lot of these jazz standards is your basic major, minor, diminished, augmented chords. And this country feel gets the job done on so many of them. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. If you could use some da-da-da, there's a da in old Bombay. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. We could do this all night because there's so many songs by so many of those great artists. So I think I've made my point, and I hope that just understanding what the country feel is, now it's something, whether you're playing country music or jazz standards, or if you just hear a pop song or something that happens to use that, maybe you'll recognize it in the song and you can apply it to the chords that you're playing, and maybe give yourself a little bit of extra depth, a little bit of extra nuance, and something a little more workable that maybe is a little more satisfying in the way that it sounds. That's my goal. I hope this is applicable. I hope it makes sense, and I hope that you can find a place to insert it in your piano playing. So anyway, I will let that be enough for today, but thank you for tuning in. If you are interested in some free goodies that I might have for you over at pianomanapproach.com, please go over there and check it out, because I do have some free goodies over there for you. So just pianomanapproach.com, and we'd love to have you join the community over there. And, of course, take a look at my channel here. I got all kinds of good stuff waiting for you on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will get out of here and get out of your hair for the day. Piano Man Steve signing out for now. remember my personal mantra, gang. If you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. See you on the next one.